Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into something I find super fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What's that?
Aristotle's thoughts on friendship.
Okay.
And he actually dedicated, not one but two whole books to it in the Nicomachean Ethics.
Wow. 2 whole books.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I know it really makes you think about, how much importance he placed on this topic.
Right, like it wasn't just some, side thought for him.
Exactly. It's not just a casual, hey, let's grab lunch kind of thing for Aristotle.
Right, he really dives into, all the nuances of different types of friendships and, how those relationships actually impact our lives.
That's right. And speaking of different types, didn't he have like this whole system for categorizing friendships?
He did, and it's actually pretty insightful.
Okay.
He breaks down friendships into 3 main categories: utility, pleasure, and virtue.
Okay.
You can almost think of it as like a spectrum,
Uh-huh.
with each type representing a deeper level of connection.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah?
Let's start with the basics. What are friendships of utility all about?
Well, think of those work colleagues you rely on to get things done.
Okay.
You get along, you help each other out,
Right.
but the relationship is primarily built on mutual benefit or usefulness.
So it's kind of like that one kitchen gadget you got as a gift. Like
Hmm.
it serves a specific purpose, but you don't exactly, feel emotionally attached to it.
Exactly. And next on the spectrum, we have friendships of pleasure.
Okay.
These are the relationships that bring us, joy, entertainment,
Fun.
fun. Yeah, think of your party buddies or your gaming crew.
So if friendships of utility are like our trusty kitchen gadgets,
Yeah.
are friendships of pleasure like that guilty pleasure TV show that you binge watch?
Ooh.
Like fun and enjoyable,
Yeah.
but not necessarily something you'd like build your life around.
That's a great analogy. And that brings us to the most fascinating type of friendship, according to Aristotle: friendships of virtue.
Okay, I'm guessing this is where things get really deep.
Yeah.
What makes virtuous friendships so special?
Well, these friendships, they go beyond just convenience or fleeting enjoyment.
Right.
They're built on a genuine admiration for the other person's character,
Mm-hmm.
their values, who they are at their core.
Yeah.
Imagine that one friend who you just click with on a deeper level, who you respect and admire, and who always pushes you to be your best self.
Right.
That's a virtuous friendship.
So it's less about what you get out of the relationship and more about who that person is
Yes,
and how you both help each other grow.
precisely. It's about mutual respect, shared values, and a genuine desire to see the other person flourish.
I like that.
Yeah.
And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of Aristotle's thinking,
Okay.
the connection between self-love and loving others.
Well, oh, interesting.
Yeah, wait, self-love, isn't that kind of narcissistic?
Ah.
I thought good friendships were all about putting others first.
Well, it's not about egotism or being self-absorbed.
Okay.
Aristotle is talking about having a healthy sense of self-worth,
Right.
recognizing your own value and potential.
Okay.
He believed that you can't truly love and appreciate others unless you first understand and appreciate yourself.
So it's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
If you don't have that foundation of self-love,
Yes,
it's difficult to give genuine love and support to your friends.
exactly. And this leads us to another intriguing concept that Aristotle brings up: the idea of a friend as a second self.
Second self, that sounds pretty profound.
Yeah.
What did he mean by that?
Think of it this way: a true friend acts as a mirror, reflecting back to us not only our strengths but also our weaknesses.
Oh.
They help us see ourselves more clearly, both the good and the bad, allowing for deeper self-awareness and growth.
So it's almost like having a built-in personal growth buddy,
Yeah,
someone who can offer honest feedback and help us become better versions of ourselves.
that's a great way to put it.
It makes me wonder how many of my own friendships really fit into that virtuous category.
Yeah.
The ones where I feel truly seen and understood,
Uh-huh.
where we challenge and support each other to grow.
That's a valuable question to ponder.
Yeah,
Which friendships in your life have had the most profound impact on who you are today?
that's something I'm definitely going to be thinking about.
Good.
And this whole idea of the second self ties back to something else Aristotle emphasized,
What's that?
the importance of friendship for achieving eudaimonia.
Ah, yes, eudaimonia.
That concept of human flourishing and living a truly fulfilling life.
Exactly. Aristotle believed that these deep virtuous friendships were essential for achieving eudaimonia.
Okay.
They provide us with support, encouragement, and the space to grow as individuals.
It makes sense when you think about it. We humans are social creatures.
We are.
We thrive in connection with others.
Yeah.
And these profound friendships are where that connection really comes alive.
Exactly. And speaking of connection and growth, I think it's time to delve a bit deeper into how those virtuous friendships actually contribute to eudaimonia.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm all ears. Let's explore that further. So how do these virtuous friendships actually help us achieve eudaimonia?
Well, to flourish, we need to grow as individuals,
Right.
develop our character,
Mm-hmm.
and understand our place in the world.
Right.
Virtuous friends help us do all of that.
Okay. I can see how having someone who knows us well, who we respect, and who challenges us could definitely push us to grow as people.
It's like having a personal trainer, but for your soul.
Oh, I like that.
They see our potential even when we doubt ourselves, and they encourage us to strive for excellence.
Yeah. And they also act as a mirror, reflecting back our blind spots.
Right?
Sometimes we need that outside perspective to recognize our own flaws and work on improving them.
Exactly. It's not always easy to hear constructive criticism, but when it comes from a place of genuine care and respect, it can be incredibly valuable for personal growth.
It reminds me of a time when a close friend pointed out that I had a tendency to interrupt people during conversations.
Oh, really?
I had no idea I was doing it. It was a bit embarrassing at first, but their honesty really helped me become a better listener.
That's a perfect example of how a virtuous friend can help us become more self-aware and refine our character.
Yeah,
And remember, this works both ways.
right.
You're
Yeah.
also that second self for your friend, offering support and honesty in return.
It's like this constant feedback loop of growth and improvement, all fueled by mutual respect and a desire for the best for each other.
Precisely. And this kind of deep, meaningful connection goes beyond just personal development.
Okay.
Aristotle believed that virtuous friendships were essential for navigating life's challenges
Right.
and celebrating its triumphs.
So they provide a sense of support and stability during tough times, but also enhance our joy and sense of fulfillment during good times.
Exactly. It's like having a built-in support system, someone to lean on when things get tough, and someone to share your joys and accomplishments with.
Yeah.
And this shared experience, this deep sense of connection, is incredibly powerful.
It makes me think about all those studies that show the importance of social connection for overall well-being. It seems like Aristotle was onto something centuries ago.
He was ahead of his time in many ways. He understood that we as humans are not meant to live in isolation.
Right.
We need connection, we need belonging, and we need those deep, meaningful relationships to truly thrive.
And not just any kind of relationships, but those friendships grounded in virtue where we genuinely admire and respect each other.
Yes,
It's not just about having a fun time.
right.
It's about sharing life's journey with people who bring out the best in us.
Exactly. It's about those friends who challenge us to grow, who support us through thick and thin, and who help us become the best versions of ourselves.
You know, it's interesting to think about the role of friendship in our modern lives. We're so connected through social media and technology,
Right.
yet it seems like genuine deep connections are becoming increasingly rare.
That's a really important point. It's easier than ever to maintain superficial connections.
Yeah.
But cultivating those truly meaningful friendships takes time, effort, and intentionality.
It's almost like we need to apply Aristotle's wisdom to our modern approach to friendship.
Uh-huh.
We need to be more mindful about the types of connections we're fostering
Yeah.
and prioritize those relationships that are truly enriching our lives.
I completely agree. In a world filled with distractions and fleeting connections, it's more important than ever to remember the value of those virtuous friendships that Aristotle championed.
So as we're wrapping up this exploration of Aristotle's thoughts on friendship, what's the key takeaway you hope listeners will walk away with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that friendship isn't just a nice to have. It's an essential part of living a fulfilling and meaningful life.
Okay.
And not just any kind of friendship,
Right.
but those deep, virtuous connections that challenge us to grow, support us through thick and thin, and help us become the best versions of ourselves.
It's a powerful message and one that's incredibly relevant even centuries after Aristotle first wrote about it.
He was a wise man, that's for sure. And on that note, I think it's time to bring our deep dive to a close.
But before we do, I'd love to leave our listeners with a final thought to ponder. Thinking about your own life, which friendships would Aristotle categorize as virtuous?
Ooh.
And what qualities make those relationships so special to you?
Yeah, that is a great question to think about. It really makes you appreciate the depth and complexity of friendship.
Right. It's not just about, having a ton of friends or being popular.
Right.
It's about nurturing those connections that truly matter, the ones that, bring meaning and purpose to our lives.
And as we've discovered today, Aristotle had some pretty profound insights into what makes those friendships so special. Those ideas of virtue, self-love, and the second self really resonated with me.
Yeah, me too. It's amazing how relevant his philosophy remains even after all these centuries.
It's a testament to his understanding of human nature. I think that deep need for connection and belonging is something we all share no matter what era we live in. Absolutely. And in a world that often feels increasingly disconnected, it's more important than ever to remember the value of those deep, meaningful friendships.
So, to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to take some time to reflect on your own friendships. Think about those relationships that bring you joy, challenge you to grow, and make you feel truly seen and understood.
And remember, cultivating those virtuous friendships takes effort and intentionality.
It
It's
does.
about being present, being supportive, and being willing to invest in those connections that matter most.
Because as we've learned from Aristotle, those friendships aren't just a bonus, they're essential for living a fulfilling and meaningful life.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Aristotle and friendship.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those friendships strong.